Imagine a small island, a resilient nation long suffocated by decades of crushing restrictions. Its economy has been battered, its potential locked away behind walls of isolation. For more than 60 years, Cuba has endured unimaginable hardships, yet its spirit has never wavered. Once held back by an economic blockade, the country has just made a bold move that is set to redefine its future, joining BRICS as an associate member. This game-changing decision positions Havana as a rising force in the global South, challenging decades of Western influence and opening up new trade networks that could reshape its destiny. But what does this historic moment mean for Cuba, its people, and the global economy? Today, we dive deep into how this island is turning the tides of history. From its battle against economic restrictions to its strategic realignment with BRICS, Cuba is proving that resilience, smart diplomacy, and cooperation can transform hardship into opportunity. Just hours ago, Cuban officials proudly announced their entry into BRICS, marking a pivotal shift that could change the nation's economic trajectory forever. For years, Cuba has been locked out of international trade, cut off from major financial institutions, loans, and investment opportunities. But with this new partnership, the island is now poised to rebuild its economy and take its rightful place on the world stage. This move grants Cuba access to global markets and resources that were once unattainable, but the significance goes far beyond economic. It's a bold declaration that the country is ready to break free from past constraints and redefine its role in global trade. The long-standing U.S. embargo, enforced since 1960 and continuously tightened over the years, has been one of the most enduring tools of economic pressure in modern history. It has cost Cuba billions, crippling its ability to trade freely, blocking access to financial systems, and creating chronic shortages of essential goods, from food to medicine. Everyday life in Cuba has been shaped by these struggles, with fuel, healthcare supplies, and basic necessities often in short supply. The nation's energy sector in particular has been severely impacted, as outdated infrastructure and limited fuel imports have left it vulnerable. By preventing American businesses and allies from engaging with Cuba, these restrictions have stifled innovation and kept the country from integrating into global supply chains. On top of that, being cut off from transactions in US dollars for over 6 decades has made it nearly impossible for Cuba to operate within traditional financial networks. The result has been an economic system struggling to survive without a viable alternative. Now, all of that is about to change. Joining BRICS marks a turning point, signaling that Cuba is no longer willing to remain trapped by outdated policies. Aligning with a group of nations that collectively account for nearly half of global economic output opens doors that were previously closed. This shift allows Cuba to move beyond the US dollar, conducting trade in local currencies and breaking free from the limitations imposed by Western-controlled financial institutions. It's not just about trade, it's about reclaiming economic autonomy. With this new alliance, Cuba can finally tap into a wealth of resources, investment opportunities, and technological advancements that were once out of reach. This is a chance to rebuild its economy on its own terms, forging partnerships that promote sustainable growth and long-term prosperity. Beyond trade, the potential for scientific and technological collaboration is immense. One of Cuba's biggest challenges, the struggling energy sector, is now poised for a major transformation. With the backing of BRICS partners, the island can modernize its energy infrastructure, investing in renewable solutions such as solar and wind power. Reducing dependence on costly fuel imports will create a more stable and self-sufficient energy future. Cuba's expertise in medicine, agriculture, and biotechnology is also set to benefit from joint projects with BRICS nations. The country has long been known for its advanced healthcare system and medical research, and now new partnerships could drive breakthroughs in pharmaceuticals, medical technology, and global healthcare initiatives. This exchange of knowledge and innovation will not only strengthen Cuba's public services, but also contribute to BRICS's broader vision of shared prosperity and progress. Cuba's integration into BRICS comes at a time when the global economic landscape is shifting. As the influence of the group continues to grow, the island's strategic location becomes even more significant. The Mariel Special Development Zone, Cuba's premier trade and logistics hub, is set to play a crucial role as BRICS nations funnel investments and goods through the island. This positions Cuba as a gateway for trade within Latin America and the Caribbean, strengthening its role as a key player in international commerce. With BRICS countries rich in natural resources, advanced technology, and financial capital, new infrastructure projects and trade routes are already in the works. These initiatives bypass traditional Western-controlled systems, offering alternative pathways for economic growth and collaboration. One of the most exciting aspects of this transition is Cuba's potential to embrace a digital revolution. With support from BRICS partners, the country aims to modernize its communications network, expanding internet access and introducing advanced technologies to its population. This transformation will bridge the digital divide, creating opportunities for innovation, entrepreneurship, and connectivity like never before. By upgrading its technological infrastructure, Cuba is positioning itself to develop a dynamic tech sector that attracts foreign investment and fosters local entrepreneurship. Officials have already unveiled plans to leverage this new partnership to boost key industries, including tourism, agriculture, and technology. Moving beyond its historic reliance on sugar exports and tourism, the country is laying the groundwork for a more diverse and resilient economy. As Cuba cements its place within BRICS, Washington faces a stark reality: the long-standing economic blockade is losing its grip. The effectiveness of these restrictions is eroding as Cuba gains access to alternative trade networks, financial systems, and investment flows that sidestep the traditional dollar-based model. The rise of BRICS and its push toward a new financial order signals a broader decline in U.S. economic influence. With the shift toward non-dollar transactions gaining momentum, Cuba is joining a global movement that challenges long-standing economic hierarchies. The country's success in this new framework will serve as a powerful example of how nations can break free from restrictive policies and carve out their own economic destinies. Cuba is already seeing the benefits of this strategic move. Goods, technology, and resources are flowing in, revitalizing key industries and improving living conditions for its citizens. Looking ahead, Cuba's role in the global economy will continue to evolve, with a strong focus on renewable energy, digital transformation, and expanding trade networks. This moment represents more than just an economic shift; it's part of a larger push toward a more balanced and fair global system. As BRICS expands its reach, Cuba's participation signals a growing momentum toward an economic landscape that no longer revolves around Western-dominated financial structures. The question now is, will this move accelerate the end of U.S.-imposed restrictions? Is this the start of a new era of international collaboration? The future is unfolding, and Cuba is ready to take center stage in this historic transformation. Here's an expanded version of the script, now reaching approximately 5,000 characters. For over 6 decades, Cuba has endured one of the harshest economic embargoes in modern history. The small Caribbean nation has faced trade restrictions, financial blockades, and diplomatic isolation, all of which have severely impacted its economy. Yet despite these challenges, Cuba has remained resilient, relying on its strong national identity, resourcefulness, and strategic alliances. Now, in a historic move that could redefine its economic future, Cuba has joined BRICS as an associate member. This decision is more than just a political statement; marks a significant turning point for the island. For decades, Cuba has been cut off from international trade, unable to fully participate in global markets due to restrictions imposed by the United States. The embargo, first implemented in 1960 and later strengthened, has cost Cuba billions in lost revenue, prevented access to financial institutions, and restricted its ability to import and export essential goods. From food shortages to medicine scarcities, the impact has been deeply felt by ordinary Cubans. But with BRICS membership, Cuba is stepping into a new era. The alliance with Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa opens doors to trade opportunities that were once out of reach. These 5 nations collectively represent nearly half of the world's GDP and are at the forefront of a shift toward a multipolar economic system. By joining BRICS, Cuba is no longer forced to rely on the U.S.-controlled financial system. It can now trade in local currencies, bypassing the dominance of the dollar. This move could have a profound impact on Cuba's economy. One of the most critical areas for transformation is energy. For years, Cuba has struggled with power shortages, outdated infrastructure, and limited access to fuel. The embargo has made it difficult to acquire the necessary technology and investments to modernize the energy sector. However, with BRICS support, Cuba can now invest in renewable energy projects, such as solar and wind power, reducing its dependence on costly fuel imports and moving toward a more sustainable future. Cuba's expertise in medicine and biotechnology is another area set for growth. The country has long been recognized for its innovative medical research, producing world-renowned vaccines, pharmaceuticals, and healthcare solutions. With BRICS collaboration, Cuba can now expand its medical outreach, partner with emerging economies, and contribute to global health initiatives. Joint research programs, knowledge exchange, and pharmaceutical development will strengthen Cuba's position as a leader in medical advancements. Beyond trade and energy, Cuba's strategic location makes it a crucial player in global commerce. The Mariel Special Development Zone, a major logistics hub, is set to become a gateway for BRICS investments, facilitating trade between Latin America, the Caribbean, and beyond. This will not only boost Cuba's economy, but also solidify its role as a key transit point for goods and services. Another exciting prospect is the digital transformation of Cuba's economy. For years, limited access to high-speed internet and modern telecommunications has hindered growth in technology-driven industries. With BRICS support, Cuba can now invest in digital infrastructure, bringing connectivity to more people and fostering innovation in areas such as e-commerce, tech startups, and financial services. A stronger digital economy will allow Cuba to diversify its industries and reduce its reliance on traditional sectors like sugar and tourism. As Cuba strengthens its position within BRICS, the geopolitical landscape is shifting. Washington now faces a reality in which the embargo's influence is fading. With Cuba gaining access to alternative trade routes, financial institutions, and investments, U.S.-imposed restrictions are losing their effectiveness. The rise of BRICS and its push for de-dollarization is already reshaping global trade, and Cuba's participation only accelerates this transformation. This is more than just an economic shift, it's a statement of sovereignty. By aligning with BRICS, Cuba is reclaiming control over its financial future, moving away from economic dependency and embracing a new chapter of growth and cooperation. With increased trade, investments, and technological advancements, Cuba is no longer an isolated nation, it is an emerging force in the global south. But what does this mean for the future? Could Cuba's success inspire other nations facing similar economic sanctions? Will BRICS continue to expand, welcoming more countries into this alternative global system? One thing is clear, the world is changing, and Cuba is stepping boldly into a new era of economic empowerment and global influence.